and welcome back to Wednesday morning's Good Morning KU. My name is Meredith Mueller.
And I'm Carson Shea.
Carson, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Yesterday we actually kicked off the first official day of fall, which is super exciting. Fall is my favorite season, and I feel like you can definitely tell with the air outside, it's getting cooler.
Yeah, it was just like a snap of a finger. I woke up this morning to go to class, and it was freezing, like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Hoodie weather.
I know, me too. So in other words, and as far as national news goes, a girl named Gabby Petito has definitely been making the headlines. So her and her fiance decided on July 2nd to go on a cross-country trip in their van, and in this past week, Gabby has gone missing, and her fiance actually returned home in Florida with her van, but without her, and he refuses to talk to the cops and is now missing as well. The FBI did find her body on this past Sunday in Grand Teton National Park and declared her as a homicide, which is super sad. So
yeah, I didn't really know much about the story, but just hearing it just makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
It's just disturbing.
It's so devastating. It's just like, I can't fathom why her fiance can't talk to the FBI. It's a little sketchy, I think.
It's definitely a little bit odd.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, next up we're going to talk about the NFL. So we're a couple weeks in now, and I'm from Denver, so I'm a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
And I know you're a Chiefs fan. So the Broncos won this weekend against the Jaguars, so now they're 2-0. And the Chiefs lost to the Ravens, which personally I'm happy about, but I don't know if you're so happy about that.
Yeah, I know. That was a crazy game. So I watched the whole game on Sunday and thought the Chiefs would maybe pull out a win at the end. I was like, oh, Mahomes can do it, but I was shocked to see they lost, barely. But Chiefs are now 1-1, but they play this Sunday at noon, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so against the Chargers at home. So
yeah, it was nice because being in Kansas, there's a lot of Chiefs fans on my floor, but I made sure to rub it into all of their faces when the Broncos won, and now they're above the Chiefs. So.
Right. I think they'll come back, though.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And then we also had Parents' Weekend. So did your parents come in town?
Yes. So we talked about that last weekend, Parents' Weekend. It was actually a blast. There were so many people here this weekend. But looking around on campus and everywhere I saw, students and my friends with their parents, everyone was having such a great time. Yeah. So my parents and I went to a couple of tailgates on Saturday for the game, and they met a bunch of my friends' parents. So I don't know, they had a ton of fun. We ate out at a couple restaurants. One was 715 on Mass Street, and the other one was Taco, which was really good. Taco had a DJ there that night, so it was super fun atmosphere to be in. Yeah. But how about you?
My parents didn't come in, but I went to the football game, and I could not believe how many families were there.
Oh, you did go?
I went to the game, just sat in the student section, but seeing all of the tailgaters and everything, I thought that was really cool. So
yeah,
it looked like it was a good time for everyone that had their family come in.
Mm-hmm. Did you stay for the whole game?
No, I didn't. For one thing, we were losing, but it was so hot. I could not believe how hot it was.
Yeah.
I decided to leave. I think we left around the third quarter. So.
Okay.
Did you stay for the whole thing?
No, I ended up not going to the game. I was actually at the Oriad. So I was on the terrace level where you can see out, which was super cool. So on one side you could see all of Lawrence, and the other side you could overlook the stadium. So, and then they had the game rolling as well. So it was really fun atmosphere to be in.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun game. Mm-hmm. No matter if you win or lose, it was a good experience for family weekend, I think.
Yeah, I know. And I really need to get to a game this season. I'm going to do it just to experience it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to cut to a break. I'm Carson Shea.
I'm Meredith Mueller.
Thank you.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back. Today our special guest is Michele Watley, and she is a 2021 Fall Dole Fellow. So welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first question is kind of obvious, but what is a Dole Fellow?
Well, a Dole Fellow is a leader or expert in the political space who's been tapped or selected to visit the university and host a series of discussion groups. And these discussion groups are cultivated and developed by the fellow, and they cover topics that are pertinent to politics today, in the past, or in the future. And so being named a Dole Fellow is quite the honor. It is quite the accomplishment, and I'm excited to be the last fellow before the current executive director transitions out. And so I have big shoes to fill, but I think that with my discussion series, those shoes definitely will be filled, and it'll be a great experience for everyone involved.
So we're going to have these discussions over the next couple of months. What are the topics going to be?
Yeah, what I'm hoping to do is to do a overview of all of the issues related to campaigning and politics that have occurred in the last 4 years or so that will impact politics not only today, but in elections moving forward. We have an election season coming up in 2022, and shortly after we'll be looking at voting for either a new president of the United States or keeping President Biden in office. And over the last 4 years or so, we've had some very historic and significant things happen, not only in the political space, but just in everyday life, that's going to impact the election seasons in 2022 and beyond. And so my discussion series titled What's the Matter with American Politics will do a dive into all of the things that have occurred and what voters can expect in 2022.
Is there a short answer to that question? What's wrong with American politics?
Not necessarily. That's why we have to have a 7-week series to discuss all of the issues. There's not one issue, but I do think that we're in a unique time and space in which our democracy has been challenged in ways that it hasn't been in recent years. And so we really, as Americans, need to take an assessment of what does political engagement look like for voters? What should be our expectations of public servants who step up to lead? And what can we expect from government in order to ensure that our democracy continues to thrive despite all of the historic and significant events that may make it harder for democracy to be robust and to be the democracy that we all envision as Americans?
Well, and that's good advice for our students to get involved and to volunteer and do things. Going back to the lecture series now, why is it important for our students to come and hear what you have to say?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that I've tried to be very intentional about this lecture series. I was intentional about who I selected to participate. I was intentional about the topics because these are the topics that we're experiencing right now in this moment. And what I'm hoping to bring is a level of expertise and dialogue that will allow participants to walk away with a greater understanding of the issues that they're seeing take shape in front of them, but maybe aren't able to articulate or fully comprehend what is actually taking place, what they're actually watching. But to also have an opportunity to have a dialogue with experts and either fine-tune your perceptions or what you think or how you feel about these issues, or to walk away with a different perspective. All of our speakers and panelists represent a plethora of backgrounds, whether it be political ideologies, levels of expertise and experience. I have chosen people of color, women, people from other demographics who are not typically represented in this space or positioned as experts. So if you come, you might see someone that you see yourself in at a level and in a position of expertise that you may not typically see.
Right.
So I think there's a lot that can be gained and learned from participating in this series, and I hope that not only your students, but I hope faculty and staff and members of the community also participate.
Right. And these are going to be Wednesdays from September 22nd to November 3rd at 4 p.m. at the Dole Institute, right?
Yes.
And how long are they going to last?
They're about an hour. I think our last session is the first week of November, but you can feel free to show up late, or if you have to leave early. Just don't miss out. It'll be live streamed also on YouTube, and so yes, Dole Institute is technologically in the know. We're using all the digital technology we can for those of you who may not be able to make it out, but we want to make sure it gets out to as many folks as possible. So I'm excited, and I hope that your students in the KU community will join us.
Right. Well, you do sound excited. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Not really. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to participate. If you'd like to learn more about Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet, you can visit our website at www.shirleyskitchencabinet.org. For all of your students who are looking to intern, we love interns. We pay our interns, and it could be a good experience to learn about how to be an advocate and how to advocate. So thank you for having me. This has been a great discussion, and I look forward to seeing you at our Dole series.
Yeah, we'll have to be there. Well, thank you for joining us. That's all we have for right now, but we'll be back after the break.
Diversity. What is diversity? It can be an umbrella term for a variety of things, ranging from diversity among different people, places, cultures, and ideas, to the way people express themselves and the way they interact with the world. In today's world, people interact with one another and share their thoughts through social media. Let's take Twitter, for example. How are people of different backgrounds, ethnicities, and sexual orientations with different political beliefs, interests, and job titles using this platform differently? Currently, celebrities are interacting with their fans on Twitter by speaking their minds, sharing their beliefs, and supporting social issues. Professional sports figures and organizations in the United States are using Twitter to support social causes and bring attention to current social matters, such as encouraging their fans to vote. Users are voicing their opinions about current issues surrounding racial inequalities, social injustice, and police brutality in the United States. There's diversity in the way people are discussing the upcoming presidential election, especially regarding their opinions of each candidate. Different news outlets are not only highlighting stories in the US, but are talking about important stories from around the world. But many Twitter users don't post about controversial matters or social issues at all. Rather, they use their platform to create memes and post funny content for entertainment. While many topics going around this app involve social issues and political opinions, Twitter creates a space where people can pool together collections of diverse thoughts, comments, opinions, goals, and even a little humor too. So how can we use this platform to express our differences? More importantly, how can we use it to learn from each other's differences today?
Welcome back. I'm Francesca.
And I'm Anna. This is your Wednesday Good Morning KU News Update. Beginning in November, the U.S. plans to ease travel restrictions on fully vaccinated foreign visitors. The new rules will require all fully vaccinated passengers to take a pre-departure COVID-19 test within 3 days of their flight, and all foreign nationals must show proof of being fully vaccinated upon arrival. There will be no mandatory quarantine measures upon arrival.
The Sexual Assault Prevention and Education Center is holding a study on sexual violence attitudes in first-year KU students. The study is open until September 24th and is accessible through a link sent to your KU emails in late August. There is a $5 incentive for completing this survey. The center is trying to understand their impact on KU students through this survey.
KU Dining announced a closure of some options on campus due to a lack of supplies and employees. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to dining services experiencing unprecedented labor and logistic distributions. With staffing at about 65% of its normal levels and sporadic food deliveries, KU Dining has had to reduce some offerings in order to maintain core services. To make up for the issue, KU has added $300 in Grubhub dining dollars to students' accounts. Dining hopes that the issue is temporary and will be resolved by fall break.
The country is getting fatter. A new study from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 16 states have obesity rates of at least 35%. That number is up 4 states from 2019 and 9 states from 2018. Just 9 years ago, in 2012, not one state fell into this dubious category.
According to the research, more than 20% of all people in all 50 states were obese. Mississippi has the highest rate of obesity at almost 40%. Colorado is the lowest at 24.2%. The rate in Kansas is 35.3%.
Obesity rates are based off of self-reported height and weight data gathered through telephone surveys on health-related risk behaviors, chronic health conditions, and use of preventative services.
And in sports, the football team stayed close and had all the momentum at halftime, but then collapsed in the second half, falling 45-7 to Baylor. KU is now 1-2 overall and 0-1 in the Big 12 Conference. 2 road games are up next as the Jayhawks will travel to Duke on Saturday and then to Iowa State the following week.
The KU women's swim team placed 5th in the CSCAA Open Water National Championships last Friday at Lone Star Lake, just south of Lawrence. The women just missing 4th place by 2 points. Sophomore Cara Church placed 5th individually to lead the Jayhawks.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. Thanks for watching today, and be sure to join us next Wednesday at 10 a.m. For more news and information, be sure to watch KUJH News this afternoon at 4 p.m.